Ready. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for calling. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for doing all those great things, guys. This is another episode of Talk Visual 305. I am here live in our studio downtown Homestead with my guy, Julio.
That's right. How you doing? Good morning. We've got a special guest in the building, Richard Candia. He is also a realtor with Avanti Way Realty. He is a business development manager at a construction company called Florida Lamarck, and he is a huge, huge advocate for South Dade, for deep South Dade. Let's give it up one time for Richard Candia, please.
Woo! Thank you guys very much. It's wonderful to be here. I've been watching your shows, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm humbled that you've invited me to come join you. Mr. Hawkins, Councilman Roth.
Yeah.
Mr. Kubria, that was interesting.
Yeah, he's got an interesting product.
So
right?
thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Well, you've been on our list, so therefore Julio said, you know what, we have to get this gentleman on, and we wanted to see what good crumbs you have to leave behind for the next gen. Yes. And we're honored to have you on our show, so we wanted to take a deep dive into, a little about yourself and what you got going on. And so when the next person, looked at this and says, you know what, I remember when.
Let's do it.
So, Julio, what do you got?
So, it's an honor to have you here, Rich. There's so many things that we're going to talk about because Richard is this person that's just got a wealth of information in his mind, and you can talk about anything, and
right.
This guy knows a little bit about that. So, I know that he's got a little nerd in him. Like he likes to read.
A lot of nerd.
He likes to read, but before we dive in, please don't forget to like and subscribe, Talk Visual. This is how we're going to keep bringing you these great interviews. So Rich, real quick, tell us a little bit about yourself and your home life. And if you're married, have kids.
Thank you. Again, gentlemen, it's really, really nice to be here with you. Very simple. Let's just start from present point. I work with Florida Lamarck, as you mentioned, business development, and it's kind of a nice place to be because I'm able to use a lot of the skill sets that I've gathered during my life. I'm married. My wife's name is Martha. I have 2 grown kids. They're no longer in the home. We are empty nesters, and that's kind of nice.
Big shout to Martha. I know Martha. I just wanted to ask him. Martha, big shout to Martha. We love you. Thank you for everything you do for our industry.
And so my life has become much more simple. It revolves around my home life with my wife, our parish, and work, and enjoying time with good friends.
Awesome.
So it's very, very simplified.
Rich, a little bit about Deep South Dade, because I know you've always had a passion for deep South Dade, and you've been part of organizations that have been working towards, putting some light on South Dade, and you've made some relationships that have helped and that have kind of jump-started a lot of the things that we see coming to fruition today.
Well, that's really nice of you to say. It's a team effort. You've been part of that, and we were talking earlier about how big of a part you are of the community.
Thank you.
And Demetrius, I just learned about all your role as a businessman. So my involvement came as being part of the Miami Association of Realtors, and the Miami Association of Realtors became a member of the South Dade Chamber of Commerce. They needed a body.
Yeah.
I volunteered, and immediately felt just an attachment to the area. Miami, if we define South Dade south of Kendall, fully a third of the population of the county is in South Dade, south of Kendall, all from the coast all the way down over to the Everglades.
That explains the traffic, right?
It explains the traffic because there's not enough jobs. Right. So you figure if a good majority or a good number of people from South Dade are going to work on jobs up in other parts of the county, that's because we have the talent.
Right.
We have the talent pool. We have so many things going here in South Dade. The parks, the schools. Miami-Dade College's Homestead campus is beautiful, and it's an underused resource. The cities of Homestead, the cities of Florida City, Cutler Bay, they're all making investments in the city, into the infrastructure. And frankly, I feel that sometimes we don't talk a lot about it because we don't want anybody to know.
Right. Yeah.
The quality of life is great. We just need the jobs, and it's easy to go and say, Wynwood is this or Brickell is that. I prefer to do something where there's a challenge, where the benefit is going to be much, much greater if we're able to succeed and bring, more employment, more manufacturing down in South Dade. I love it.
Speaking about challenges, Richard, Demetrius and I both have invested in historic downtown Homestead, right?
Yes. Your office
What
is
do you think are some of the challenges for attracting other businesses to come, in particular restaurants, so
Right.
we can have cafes and we can make this, because you can go to other parts of the state or other parts of the country that have historic downtowns, which ours is just as pretty, it just doesn't have the same vibe. What do you think are some of the challenges, and what do you think we need to do to enhance?
I think the administration now, with the team that they have, are starting to look
Right.
into those things, and I think we need to give them a chance to do that. Ziri, the new manager,
Yeah.
certainly has brought in a lot of confidence. People just love seeing him. He's got the experience, he's got the background, and he's got the contacts. And we're
Right.
going to talk about that, I think, the
Right.
importance of your contacts. So it was difficult to do permitting. They're taking care of that. The whole the zoning
Yeah. Right.
situation.
They're taking care of that.
They're starting to look into that and doing the right things to have those kind of conversations. Let's not be afraid to grow. Let's
Right.
not be afraid to grow and to try the new.
I've heard in the past, Demetrius, I don't know if you've heard this as well, but some people have said other downtowns are very close to the turnpike or a main thoroughfare like US 1.
Right.
We're on Chrome.
Right.
Do you guys feel that the location of Homestead's downtown, given that it's not so close,
beaten path.
not so close to off the turnpike, but
Right.
we're on Chrome, do you guys think that plays a role?
I personally don't think so, because the turnpike ends right down the street. So where the turnpike ends, we have like 2 minutes before you can get to the turnpike if you head south. A lot of times you want to go head north to get to the turnpike, and I think that's been a lost gem that the turnpike actually. If everybody knows that the turnpike ends right there, they realize how much traffic is actually pouring into this area. So I'm not sure if that's really a deterrent factor. I just think that they had the old side versus the new side of Homestead.
Right.
That's playing a factor.
There is that, but the new housing developments used to be on the other side of the turnpike. They're
Right.
starting to creep over this
Right,
side as
right.
well. And call it whatever you want, land availability, not affordability, but
Right.
availability, whatever it is, they're starting to build here. So the people are
Right.
going to be here.
Well-
It doesn't matter.
I think the Redland has played a major role. The Redland is whatever has happened. I think the land has loosened up
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
where the developers are there now, and they're developing whatever land. I think it was a 5-acre situation, then it became I think maybe the same, or maybe a 1-acre situation. So now persons are getting older and they're not willing to stick around, so they're heading north and they're selling. And now 288 is it Redland Road? Now that's becoming really, really popular. You know, so a lot more persons are now here in the Redlands. The Redlands was more like a sacred area of town.
Well, I would push the question back, and maybe we can't answer it here. The challenge that everybody's going to have now is balancing what the beauty,
Right.
the feel of what was and what is the Redlands.
Right.
How do we
Keep that.
engage that and keep that, while at the same time doing kind of things of infilling in the downtown? I would love to have some sort of not skyscrapers, but having a tall building somewhere
Right.
with
A staple.
with apartments, and people just come downstairs. It's incredibly walkable.
Right.
Yeah, but the word density in the administration has never been
density-
accepted very well. But I think controlled density, walkability density
Walkability.
is what works. But Rich, in your experience with commercial developers and just the commercial sector, what are some of the things? Because if Homestead is one of the largest cities in Dade County, I think we rank number 4 or 5, largest city. Typically, commercial guys want people so that they can go shop at the stores that they develop, right? So if we have the people, like you said, we have the talent, why haven't the jobs come?
Oh, that's a little more. I think there's a little
I think there's a little more, and it takes time, because when I was doing my research in downtown, and I pulled comps of the area of what's down here, and the same thing, I feel that those developers are doing the same things too. They're looking at the area, and now you have all the Chick-fil-A's, and if I would plug them, but the rest of them, and a few other big names, the Darden Corporation that's here, and the other companies that's coming here. They all did their research and realized that now there's money here, because for a long time they realized that there's not enough money down there for us to invest there. Now all the big boxes coming here.
Yeah, Versace, Prada. Where are you guys at?
They're all here now.
That's going to happen. They are going to go into that new development over in Cutler Bay.
Yep.
That has been, at least as of now, it's still going to be market price units. They're going to do everything they can to attract higher end retail type shopping experiences.
Yep.
And then on the manufacturing job side, remember that one of only 3 Space Florida designated properties that was passed in the legislature like 3 years ago is right over here, right outside of Homestead Air Base.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Right.
And the challenge is going to be, and we're working on it. So I sit on the board of the South Dade Chamber of Commerce. I also sit on the board of the Economic Development Council of South Dade. And through that, think of it as the economic development arm for South Dade. The challenge is try to get the county to let's formalize how we're going to start attracting those businesses and bring the manufacturing potential into that area. You get a couple of those, and it's going to start picking up.
So you said Space Force.
Space Florida.
Space Florida. Is that the same as Space Command?
No, sir. So Space Florida is wow.
Like an arm?
Richard, way to kill the show. No, so it's a quasi-governmental agency within the state of Florida, and what they do is they are focused on attracting manufacturers that build in the space industry. Space industry, airline industry. It's a pretty broad terminology. They offer special concessions and those kind of things, and it is a wonderful tool. It's been underutilized here in actually in Miami-Dade County. We haven't had one project. We can go into detail. You can look it up. But for instance, if you want to open up a manufacturing on a municipal or county-owned piece of property, then Space Florida will come in and will pay for the equipment. They'll help pay for the construction, taking a lot of the overhead off the investor.
Okay, so Space Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
Does this have? Are we in the space of like NASA, Space Command, like satellites, and we're in that space? Because you said manufacturing. That could be manufacturing of anything.
It could be manufacturing of anything. For example, one of the commissioners, I hope he doesn't watch this because I forgot his name.
McGee Cabrera.
Gonzalez. Gonzalez. In his district is Tabiami Airport.
Yeah.
And so they are developing a building. They brought in somebody that's going to do training and manufacturing of goods that go to airplanes. So again, the terminology, the definition is pretty broad.
Right.
Okay, Richard, during our time with the Chamber, I know that we had conversations with Space Force and the Homestead Air Reserve base area. There was talks about bringing that entity, I'm guessing, that entity to that area. Are there any updates? Was it not selected, or is that a federal thing that they get to pick different bases of the states?
I can't talk about that.
Classified. That reminds me when I went over to the air base and I asked the commander at the time, because he showed us the planes taking off. I said, "Hey, how fast do these planes get up in the air?" And he goes, "They get up there pretty quick." I'm like, "I know that, but on time,
classified.
And he goes, "It's classified."
So the idea, Homestead will never be a place where you launch rockets. It has the, because it's an airfield and because this property is a county-owned property, the idea is to merge the two. It's not necessary. What Homestead Air Force is trying to do is bring in the next generation of fighters, the F-35s or whatever. Yeah. So that's actually moving pretty well. Our Congress folks both he met. Well, our delegation has done great work at moving that aspect and raising Homestead Air Base in line to be one of the recipients to phase
Do
out
you
the
foresee the
F-16.
Homestead Air Base going fully active again? That is the
that's-
busiest inactive base in the country.
Yeah.
And because of its location, right, its geographic location, I think that they should turn it live again like they
Let's-
did before Andrew.
That's way above me, but,
Wait.
but I think what we can say, and let's knock on wood and hope, even as it stands now, it's an air station.
Right.
It's still a huge economic impact to the county.
100%.
And so it is within all of our interest to support it,
Right.
to do what we can to support our delegation, to support that, and urge them to do
Right.
right.
You know, I've heard multiple things about what's happening with the Homestead Air Reserve Base, and one of the topics that have been floating around is it becoming a joint use base.
It is.
And it's
Right.
it's a controversial topic because obviously you can't please everybody. There's some that think it's great, some that don't think it's so great.
Right.
Is there any movement on that on the federal level, Rich? If you have any clue?
Yeah, like to make it a
joint
cargo,
use?
like a cargo
Yeah.
kind of with commercial
Yeah.
applications. I think if you talk to the military, they prefer not to have those kind of things, and it's
Right.
because of a mission issue.
Right.
Right.
It's a mission issue.
I know our senator, well, not our senator, our now Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. He's always said that he would never want that to become a joint use because of the geopolitical arena that the United States is in. You know, it's Southern Command is there. It's the protection to anything coming, you know, from that.
It
from
plays
that
a
region.
really vital role. I mean, we're going a little beyond the scope of our conversation, but it plays a huge vital role. If you go through anybody gives you just the briefest of briefings,
Right.
Homestead Air Base still plays a major role in
Right.
training and just in having its presence. From here, you can get to a lot of places in Central and South America quickly.
What I think, rolling back to the EDC. The EDC, for the audience that's out there, it's basically like an arm of the Beacon Council, of the Miami Beacon Council. And the Beacon Council, sometimes I think they're the CIA of business, right? Of all of the really cool things that end up coming to Miami, the Beacon Council has played some role in making that happen. So we've got the CIA of South Dade here with us, you know?
Well, I think in the EDC's role, not to just, we want to make sure that South Dade stays. It's because it's easy to sell Coral Gables. It's
Right.
easy to sell Brickell.
Right.
Heck, part of our biggest challenge is to sell South
South
Dade
Dade.
to Miami residents,
Right.
Miami-Dade County residents. Ask anybody, hey, we're going to meet in Homestead.
Oh.
That's too far.
And I'll give you a backstory of that. You know, when I was considering opening a business down here, he says, "What are you doing? It seems like it's behind God's back down there, dude. There's nothing down there but swamp."
There's
Person still
600,000
thinking,
people.
you know, I'm like,
we don't need you. We
No,
have
but-
enough down here. You know. Anyway, so that's the EDC's role. The EDC is we are like that organization. We don't have the staffing. We don't have the funding. It's all volunteers, and I think we do a pretty good job.
True.
We do a pretty good job.
So, you know, in keeping true to our topics today, we wanted to kind of find out, I mean, what does success mean to you? You know, what is that?
I think we're all about the same
Same.
age, right? So success is kind of a moving target, isn't it?
That is correct.
I think when you're young and full of verve and you want to conquer the world, it's how much stuff, or what's my bank account look like, or
Right.
What kind of car do I drive?
yeah, or how much credit do I have on this black
Right, card.
platinum, whatever.
That's right.
I think for me, success means being able to provide for my family, of course, being able to help the community,
Right.
and to just keep it simple, be happy.
Right.
To be happy.
Okay.
I'm in a unique situation where I'm in a competitive industry and I'm learning.
Right.
I'm brand new, and so I have a little bit of that young drive. I got to learn this thing,
Right.
but by the same time, I know, there's a funny story. I can't say it live. We'll tell you off. But I'm not going to run. I'm going to walk.
That's
and
right. You walk down the hill.
and walk down the hill.
That's
You
right.
know,
I know that story. Way right.
I'm going to walk down the hill
Right.
and take care of business.
That's right.
I don't have to run.
Well, you know, for those who knows it, you know.
That's right.
And you know,
If you know, you know.
when did that start for you? I mean, success, you said, right? But then you want to say, it started for me a few years ago. Persons started off in different versions of success at different times. A lot of times people say in their 40s and their 50s is when I struck gold.
Yeah.
I was digging. And now I officially have made it there. Or when I became an empty nester, and you realize that, okay, I can breathe now because, that mountain of debt and things came about. So when did that start for you, if you would say?
I think there is a time, and let's talk about men. I don't mean to exclude anybody, but for a man, when you get to a point where you consider yourself of a certain age,
right,
and you realize a lot of that stuff didn't matter,
right,
and it's kind of an awakening.
Yeah.
And so now let me focus on the things that do matter. Now, there's a lot of folks who are young and have made that determination.
Right.
They are 1 in a million, and they're very, very fortunate, very fortunate. I've always been a mentality of, let me just help. Julio, we were talking earlier, I'm blessed. I have a pretty robust Rolodex.
Yeah.
And old guy, Rolodex. And if anybody calls me, hey, do you know, I'll give that away. I don't care.
Yeah. That's
right.
I don't care because I think I'm really, really bad at making money. I'm
good at making friends,
I
right?
collect friends.
He's being very humble.
I collect friends.
He's good at making money.
No,
Right.
But I think the money will come. Do right, and the money will come.
Right, and we've heard that a lot, right? I mean, a lot of the crumbs we've heard so far, and we call it crumbs when a person is dropping gems to the next gen. It's okay, if you keep doing enough good, the rest will fall in line.
You had Councilman Roth on here, and one of the takeaways that I had from that conversation is Julio asked him, hey, you have a backstory, and Mr. Roth has a backstory.
Yeah.
You reach a certain age when you learn to not run away from your backstory, but you embrace your backstory.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of struggling with some of that.
Right.
But once you do, it takes off a lot of burden,
right.
and you're able to focus again on what's real.
important.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was to that point. In real estate, right now, the way the current market is, the market is on a downward trend. So you have listings and you're representing sellers, and the houses aren't selling. And Demetrius and I were talking the other day. It's like, man, I don't know what to say to sellers anymore, because you want to stay in touch and you want to follow up to let them know, hey, this week this is what happened.
Right.
And it's not always good news.
Right.
And then you get to a point where you're like, I just got to say exactly what's going on. There is no sugarcoating. The market sucks right now. The market is not doing well, and we have to reinvent how we market. And that's when collaboration becomes extremely important, because now I could call Richard when before maybe you didn't have to call, you didn't have to collaborate with other agents, but now you do, because all of you are in the same space and you're all trying to service your clients the best way you can. So, hey, Richard, I've got this property. Do you know anybody? And you're just kind of poking the bear, saying, oh yeah, I might have someone to do this, this, and this. So I think collaboration is key. Having good relationships with other agents has always been great.
Right.
Never try, or an agent that has a riff at the beginning of a transaction with another agent, try to work that out, because this industry is small, and you're going to work with that agent again, and you don't want to be that agent that says, oh, I remember that person, and I'm definitely not doing the deal with them.
Right. The term I use is be careful what you do on stage. Once you get out there and you're on stage, be careful what you do, because typically it comes back to bite you. So you have to be mindful of the type of stage you're building.
The truth always sets you free. That's the message there.
Yep.
Real estate is actually an interesting situation. That industry is changing so much.
Right.
It is, let's just say it is hard to be a realtor right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And particularly if you have lived your life thinking, I just put a sign and it sells, which we were spoiled.
Right.
And I don't need to talk to anybody else, like you were saying. And you said real estate industry every industry is small.
Right.
Every industry is small. The world is small. Miami, we got 2 million people in Miami, and yet we're a small town. You never know. You're out having dinner somebody's going to see you that knows you,
Right,
going to report back and say,
right.
hey, I
I
just
just saw this person.
Yeah, dude.
In fact, in Orlando, you can go up there now. It's like, man, he said you can't go nowhere. Somebody knows you. In fact, I was on a
Not go
cruise
nowhere.
and I saw a couple of customers.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing here? We're in the middle of the Mediterranean. I'm like, okay, what are you doing out here?
But now that I got you, my phone is right. You're like, "Ah."
I know. I'm like, okay. She's like, can you turn that thing off for a minute? and that's simply just the way it happened. Leaving crumbs behind for the next generation is typically what we are trying to do. We're trying to bring some attention to our downtown. We have our business here. We want to see our business grow beyond measures. We want to see downtown do the same. And we see what the government is doing here, and we see what the local business owners are doing here. So we're doing our best from our podcast here to see if we can attract more business-minded persons to come and invest downtown, because
Absolutely.
that chamber building there and what is it, the Homestead Station there. That's a beautiful building, and we would love to see some restaurants. We want to see people on the persons on the sidewalks, where you can have like that whole feel of almost like City Doral.
Yeah, you have a park there.
Right. So they have some nice murals that's there. The new park has been revitalized there, and a lot of great things are happening downtown. It's time to come and invest, right? So we would love to see some more heavy hitters come into downtown.
Yeah. I would like to ask, Richard, what's your favorite spot in Homestead?
So this is right outside of Homestead, but the Redland Market. I love the Redland Market. I love going there on Saturday, and it's like you're in another country. Everything's fresh.
That's it. All the fresh produce.
You want to go over there to the where they sell all their goods. You can buy anything there.
That's
Anything
right.
there. And you want tacos? There's a line of just taco stands. It's fantastic.
That's it.
It's fantastic, and it's unique. Going back, it is. You take a picture of that and show it to anybody in Miami-Dade County. They're like, where is this?
that?
I want to
Right,
go. Man, it's 10 miles away from you.
And
man.
they'll think it's out of town,
They'll think
somewhere
it's
in Naples,
else.
somewhere, right?
Not even.
It's
fantastic. I love that place.
in our backyard.
If you could pick one word to describe yourself, what would it be?
That's not fair.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that. Okay, humble. Thank you.
There you go. Gotcha.
Yeah, because he says he doesn't make money, but check out that account, right?
Hey, that's it.
Some of the things you do for fun, Rich. What do you like to do? You like to golf? You like to boat? What?
Well, I don't like to do a lot of things. Like I
simple.
realize like, geez, boring. Who wants to hang out with me? in our business, in our industry, in construction? Golf is a big thing.
That's
big
right.
Deal still.
Big deal. It's still a
I
big one. And it will forever be.
I
Yeah.
didn't have no idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, what? No,
Yeah.
golf is big. What I like to do, I like to cook.
Okay.
I love to cook.
You and my wife would get along very well.
And the thing is, it's I would try to buy all the gadgets and
You're a tech guy?
No, I'm not a tech guy. I'm your favorite customer.
Okay.
Yeah, like, let me show you.
That's it.
I love buying the new toys, and I don't follow recipes very well. Like, okay, I get
That's
it.
it.
and
You
I
like the
start doing
taste,
it, yeah.
mix and match some of that stuff.
So you do most of the cooking at home?
Actually, it's kind of changed now because I did,
Okay.
but now my wife and I are on such different
and the taste bud.
schedules.
Oh, okay.
We don't even eat at night anymore. I mean, we
Right.
just have a little snack and catch up on the day.
Cool.
But
Do you play a big role in your parish?
I don't say a big role, but I try to be active. Yeah.
Good.
I would say I sing in the choir. I stand in the choir.
That's it.
we my wife and I are in a couple of ministries, and we do what we can.
That's
Yeah,
great.
It's very fulfilling.
So, I mean, if you were to leave a lesson behind, what would you want that lesson to be?
So I came across an idiom or a saying not too long ago. Belief comes before skill.
Belief comes before skill.
Yeah. So many times, especially when you're young, like, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that.
Right.
Well, if you look at if you read biographies, if you look at the great leaders,
Yeah.
nobody was born knowing how to do anything.
Right.
They just launched into it, and they believed either
Right.
this is the industry. I believe in myself. I can do it.
Right.
And everything else will come. Skill will come. Contacts will come. That will come. I think, especially now, the younger generation is
Right.
lacking some of that.
Right.
And especially if we lose the dependency on AI, the dependency on
Right.
on what's on the screen. Sorry.
No worries. The easy route is always the key, and I always tell the when I'm, as we always hiring, I tell them, listen, as long as you have the will, I'll teach you the skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to have the will. If that will is not in there, I don't care about your resume. I look at it, but I don't care about it. I care about the individual and what you do. So I'm a strong component of the will.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Will plays such a big role in everything. I asked my pastor the other day, I struggle with my faith. He goes,
Right.
faith? You don't get faith. Faith
Right.
is
Right.
given to you, but it's also a matter of will.
Right.
You have to exercise it.
Exercise, right.
And
It's
exercise
it's
that
like a
in-
muscle.
It is. So we exercise it in everything. I never realized it
Right.
in faith. But you want to be an athlete,
Right.
will.
Right.
Get up every morning, do
Right.
your thing.
Right.
You want to
That
be
is true.
You want to be a good realtor. You want to be good at anything.
Right.
It's the will that will.
And that
create the
sets you
way
aside, right? That's the success versus failure, or the success versus learning. Because a lot of times, once you inject the will into anything, we all know what the results are from that.
But Julio mentioned something else, and I really want to. I feel like we're winding down. I want to make sure we touched on this. That you're only as good, not only as you said before, as what you did as your last
Correct.
success or whatever,
Right.
but you're only as good as the people around you.
Right.
And if you have a strong network that you've built up, that you keep in touch with, that you are somebody important for them as
Right.
they are for you,
Yeah.
you can start over in anything.
Right.
And I don't want to. I'm not successful in this yet, but I got to tell you that I've started over a couple of times,
Right.
and I've just been blessed with having a
good network of
pretty
friends.
robust network, and it's just a matter of me reaching out.
And it's never too late to reinvent yourself. Never too late.
So far.
And there's such a respect that I have for people that are fearless. They are without fear. They just say, you know what, I'm going to try it. If I don't try it, how am I ever going to know if I could be good at this? And by the way, when we start something, we typically suck at what we start, right?
That's right.
But the more you do it, the easier it gets. I mean, if you think back, whenever you get a new product, you get a new computer, at first you don't know where all the things are, but a couple days, boom, it starts to become repetitious, and that's everything in life.
Right.
Very few people, God does bless people with
Just
God-given
natural
talent, right?
Just natural.
That's bad too.
Right.
You have a natural talent. You think,
get
oh, this is
lazy,
always
right?
easy. That's
Right.
right.
The
It's-
lazy
I'm,
factor.
I'm good at this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
That's like
be
studying.
be grateful and then try to learn and build
Right.
on. Don't stop learning.
Yeah, that is true.
So the message I want to give to the audience is, even if you've got that God-given talent, always work at everything that you do, because you're going to appreciate when you do reach those milestones and you do get to that success level that you've got. Because anything that's given to you, you're not going to appreciate.
That's true.
Right.
Nothing's free in life, by the way.
No.
Everything has got a cost. You've got to put some sweat equity into it, and you're going to be much happier when you put that work behind it. You're going to say, man, I'm glad I got here, and this didn't come easy.
I do have a question for you too. What is your thoughts about AI, the evolve of in the AI steps?
Scary, but I use it every day. It's scary, but I use it every single day. I use ChatGPT.
Are you fighting it, or you?
No. I
You
dive
gave in?
right
You
in. Yeah, I
embraced-
gave
you embraced
I
it.
right in, because I can see. What I haven't done is I just use ChatGPT. I haven't used the zillion
Right.
other AI things that there are.
Understand.
But yeah, I had the one fear I have. I like writing. I'm a
Okay.
Nerd, and I wonder if people are writing ideas and then, hey, give me a letter.
Right.
Eventually, if we're not all going to sound the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Very robotic, right?
Well, not necessarily, but we're all going to have the same language and the same feel, and that's the only danger.
I've got a question to that. Let's say, because books have always been our avenue and our source to knowledge, right?
Right.
You read books and you're going to learn something from that author's perspective. Now you can just tell ChatGPT, write a book with this topic, and it'll give you an entire book.
Right.
Is that a play we can use to?
But you know, it's
Well,
not
you can tell, right, when it's fake or not, because
Yeah.
they're leaving crumbs on that too to let you know that okay, that was
not
not
original.
written. Right, it's not exactly.
Yeah.
It was not written by a human, and it's by design that they're doing that. So I mean, unless you're a coder of sorts, that you can remove that watermark, you can tell.
Okay.
For those who know, who knows it knows it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to find out a little more about that to see whether or not the technology is playing a role in your
No, I use it.
growth.
I use it a lot. I do.
Very good. So is there anything else that you'd like to share with us or leave as a crumb for the next gen coming behind?
Julio mentioned books, and a few years ago I would have said, guys, you got to read, and reading is a dying art. And
Right.
So I've evolved, and
Right.
however you can consume new ideas,
Right.
you should do it. I listen to a ton of podcasts. I listen to podcasts
Yeah.
all day long.
Well, thank you for listening to ours.
That's right. I listen, and people books on tape or
Right. Right. We got you. We understand. That's it.
it's not for me.
Right.
I'm more tactile. I like touching it. I like flipping the pages. But as long as you're exposing yourself to new ideas, I think there's also that tendency in real estate. Is another example.
Right.
I've always done it this way. Well,
Right.
you know,
Well,
you need to change.
you have
And
to adapt and overcome.
You've got 6 stores. You got to mind. And
That's it. And forever changing. I'm only
Forever changing.
in our world is you're only as good as yesterday, because today there's a new piece of technology. There's some new software that's going to load and change that, and you got to keep up. We don't slow down. You have to keep up. So the goal is to keep pushing forward, be uncomfortable for the success you want.
Well, and success looks different.
Yes, sir.
Success. When I used to work at a university and at FIU and UM, you would see students kind of slumped over, with the hoodies on.
Right.
whatever. And it's quick. You're quick to make a look at this guy.
Right. You assumed.
Talk to them.
Right.
And you find
Right.
that they are the smartest, the quickest,
Right.
most insightful people.
Right.
And I think we have to change the paradigm of what we think success
What the norm
looks
looks like,
What
right?
does it look like? It
Right.
looks like it could be like anything, and especially in South Day where we're so robust, we're so diverse.
Right.
We depend a lot on small businesses. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you.
Small business owners. Again, success looks different,
Right.
and we should be ready to.
So in other words, obviously you cannot assume anything of anyone today, especially today with technology and things, and the success is coming in different form. Before you were told, get out there and find something to do
Right.
and work, and that's a great path. Everyone has a path, right?
Right.
And how you end up to the
right.
end of that, we see, we came here, we conquer.
yeah.
Richard,
You know?
we want to thank you
That's it?
very much. Yeah,
Oh,
we thank you very much for dropping the knowledge that you've given us today. It's a true pleasure to have people of your caliber here. It's going to help us grow, and it always helps our audience understand a little bit more about the paths that all of you successful people have endured.
I like how we said use successful people, right?
You're very kind. You're very generous.
So thank you for being on, guys. As we
guys.
end our podcast today, we want to say thank you for our guests. And Julio, as always, it was great being a part of your team. And we look forward to our next episode, guys. Please like and subscribe. We're trying to just leave crumbs behind, and we wanted to grow our local community and beyond. So if you want to come on our show, and please just send us an email. Talk Visual 305 is out there. We have we officially got our billboard up now, so we're happy about that.
Oh, wow.
So we're doing big things, guys, and this started off from just an organic conversation. So hey, anything is possible. We don't have the time, but we're making the time. Isn't it amazing, right? How we can make time. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. We wish you a great day. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.